In this video, I'm going to show you how to use shapes and icons in PowerPoint. I'm Rebecca Livermore, the Office Creative. Now, first I want to just talk about icons. So what you do is you click on the icons button, and you'll see that there are different categories of icons: people, technology and electronics, communications, business, and so on. And to be honest with you, at the current time, there aren't a ton of icons, but some of them could be helpful. So for example, let's say that you were going to do an infographic. A lot of times you use, like a person on it. So the way that you do this is you just select the one that you want and you click on Insert. And now you'll notice it's scalable. You can make it any size that you want without it becoming blurry. You can also make it any color that you want. So for example, I want to make this one orange, or I wanted to make it green. You can also add an outline. Right now there's no outline, but I'm going to put a black outline just so you can see it. You can also try graphic effects, and we'll just experiment with a couple to see what they do, to see if they have much of an impact on it. And you can see that turned it sideways and so on. Make it beveled. We'll rotate it a different way. So you can see that there's quite a bit that you can do with the icons. The use would be fairly limited, but it is something worth experimenting with, particularly if you want to just have some simple icons to add to an infographic or some other type of image. So again, that's in the Insert tab, Icons, and then you just select from whatever of the categories that you want. Okay, now let's talk about shapes. Now I did touch on shapes very slightly in an earlier video, where I talked about using a rectangle as an overlay that you can put text on. But I wanted to make sure you knew there's actually quite a few options. You'll see if you click on the shapes from the Insert menu, Shapes, there's all kinds of shapes. For example, a star. And as is always the case, you can change the color of the shape fill, change the outline, and that type of thing. Now, you can also, with your shapes, add a picture. And you can select from like one that you've saved to your computer, or you can do a Bing image search, or if you have OneDrive and you have some images saved there, you can do that, as well as Flickr and Facebook. So those are your options. So let's just go to Bing. And earlier I used a flower, so let's just use that same one and see what it does inside of a shape. Okay, now that looks a little odd. Not the best shape for that flower, but you kind of get the idea. But now let's go ahead and let's just try a different one, like maybe a circle. So we'll go to Insert, Shapes, and we'll do a circle. And Shape Fill, we're going to do a picture. And again, we're going to do the flower. Pick the same one, insert it. And that's kind of interesting that way. So it's kind of nice to be able to just pick any shape that you want and put an image inside of it. That can be an interesting way to add interest to your images. Let's take another look at some other shapes just to see what's there. A real common one that you might want to use are arrows. Those are great in infographics or social media graphics that you want to bring some attention to. Notice there are shapes that are specifically for use in flowcharts, stars and banners, callouts. Sometimes it can be fun to make somebody think something, show their thoughts. And on this, you could, let's say that you wanted to have no fill and then be able to type words in it. You would just then go to Insert and a text box, words, whatever words you want to type in there. That's what you would do there. So again, this is a very simple thing, but it can be a lot of fun to insert different shapes. Now, where it really gets interesting is when you combine shapes to make things like icons. I'm going to just give you an example here. And I'm going to make this one empty, no fill. And I'm going to go get another shape. And you can see I didn't do a great job with that, but that gives you an idea of how that could be an envelope. And so that just kind of looks like a very simple envelope icon. So think about how you can take these different shapes and add them to your images for all kinds of interest. Remember, the main things are to select the shape, and then you can change the fill, you can change the outline, you can add a picture to it, you can add text to it, and so on. So it's a great way to add some interest to your images. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I'd really appreciate it if you'd like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And don't forget to click on the little bell icon so you'll get notified whenever I put out new content. Thanks so much, and happy creating!